Subscribe to Film Companion for your film fix. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Javed, why is the quality of the music and the lyrics so much sort of
atrocious?
Yeah.
Atrocious is the most gentle and understated word. Film is shying away from the emotion. The music has taken its frantic tempo, and the man who is selecting the song, whether the producer or the director, has no understanding of language. So everything is against जाने वो कैसे लोग थे जिनके प्यार को प्यार मिला.
Yeah.
That sounds really sad.
Yeah.
Oh.
कुछ तो hopeful कहिए जावेद साहब. वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी ना?
आएगी, because आना चाहिए, it's overdue.
अच्छा, मैं अब आपको बताऊं, ये जो बहुत romantic writer है उनकी एक असलियत बताऊं ना.
हाँ.
Can you imagine? He turned on and he asked me, "Hari, when did you get that beauty spot on your chin?" I said, "I was born with it, and we've been living together for 37 years. So Corona की वजह से."
For 37 years, I was only appreciating her eye.
Sure.
So Javed Akhtar Shabana, so lovely to see you. I remember the last time we met was at your 75th birthday, and such a happy evening that was. And who could have imagined all the things that have happened since then? But you're both looking lovely.
Thank you very much.
So
And it's true. I mean, who could think on the 17th that on the 18th we'll have such a calamity?
Yeah.
I mean, that accident that Shabana went through was really deadly. I mean, we were in the other car, she was sleeping in the car behind us. And when this accident occurred, and we went back, I mean, the first thought was that, is she alive? Because the whole car was crushed. It was crushed. It had become a heap of junk. That's all. And somehow we took her out. She was unconscious. And there was blood all over the face. And thankfully it was only from the nose. There were no wounds. But the whole body has taken such a whiplash that it will take a little time to be totally normal.
Yeah.
But she's all right. Almost perhaps 98% all right.
Okay, so he's told you that I'm all right? This has gone on record. So when he asked me, what's with you? You are my witness that he said I'm all right. Okay, Anu?
But you are amazing. You're shooting 40 days after that accident. How do you do things like this?
I really don't know, because the good thing is that I remember nothing of the accident. Absolutely nothing, because like he said, I fainted on the spot.
You were sleeping and then you...
I was sleeping and then I fainted, and then the first thing that I sort of came to my senses was when I was already in the ICU. And let me tell you that through that period, because I was on painkillers and stuff like that, and the phone had been taken away from me, my face was not being shown to me. So I wasn't really aware of all the things that had happened to me. But when I came home, then after that, it was very unusual for me to have a nurse 24 hours. The minute I shift, she said, "Didi, kya chahiye?" and stuff like that. She get on my nerves. But finally, I recovered like they said that I would. And Javed keeps telling me, the doctor keeps saying that it really was a miracle. But Anu, from this, what I've learned is such immense gratitude, because I was so overwhelmed by the love, by the affection, by the prayers of people. I mean, it was completely overwhelming. And I really believe that I've become okay because of these people, so I feel just tremendous gratitude.
But how do you summon up the strength to just go back to work?
I think in that sense, I'm a little bit like my father, I have his genes. He would also just get up. And when I used to ask him, "Abba, मुझे दर्द हो रहा है ना?" तो वो कहते हैं कि दर्द अपना काम कर रहा है, मैं अपना काम कर रहा हूँ. तो मैं भी अपना काम करने के लिए चली गई. Although it was tough, let me tell you. The first day when I reported for shooting, they had waited a long time for me. So it was a very tough scene. And I felt giddy, and I felt unsteady, and I felt that I'm not going to be able to pull this through. And then they were so kind and so wonderful that they immediately took me, let me go to the van and then just sleep it. And in the next few days, they would give me a break like every 2 days.
So they worked around it.
I was, yes, yeah. And in fact, Anil Kapoor had told me that, you might be feeling a bit shaky and nervous, but once you're there and the camera's on, everything will come back to normal. So that's what it did.
One of the sweetest things I've seen on the internet lately was that video you posted about Javed Saab's response to you telling him to eat his soup properly.
Arey bhai, it has totally gone out of proportion. I mean, the kind of tweets and SMS we get and the number of responses, I mean, unbelievable. I don't know what has tickled people so much.
What had tickled me has tickled them. No?
Exactly.
Imagine, Anu, he did it on the spot. मतलब मैंने बोला इतना तुम खाओगे तो कितना तुम गिराओगे?
Javed's response was, जो इस तरह से खाओगे तो कितना तुम गिराओगे, जो सूप इस पे गिर गया तो जानते होगा क्या, ये दाग धुल न पाएगा.
And then this is how he comes out with it. I mean, I just fainted. I forgot all about how much soup he's dropping. It's just quite completely mad. He does these kind of things, all right? So he's got 2-3 songs that he's made up from films. So it was just too delightful for me not to share it. Otherwise, it was quite a private thing, actually.
No, but it was so lovely. You put a smile on all our faces. We just imagine him being witty like this all the time and this lovely romance just playing out. Tell me, the two of you are, of course, great artists, but you're also both very engaged with the political fabric of the country, with the social fabric of the country. Tell me, at a time like this, what is the role of the artist? What should art do right now?
Yeah, sure.
See, there are two persons together. One the artist, another the person, the human being. And both of them have certain responsibilities. Sometimes the artist feels that, all right, so if I have written a poem, if I have sung a song, if I have performed something, that's good enough. No. Yes, as an artist, you have fulfilled your duty. But as a citizen, as an Indian, as an individual, as a person also, you have certain duty towards the society and towards the nation. And different people have different capability and different sphere of influence or different capacity to do things. But whatever capacity we have, we should work to the maximum. Because all right, I have written a poem, I have written a song recently, which will come very soon in the public domain. But even as a citizen also, I have certain duty. I may not be an Ambani or a Azim Premji, but then whatever little I can do, it becomes my duty to do that. In my own affair, in my own sphere of influence, if I can help some people, support them in these precarious times, then we must do that. And I must do that. Writing a poem is not enough. That is also good, but it is not either or. So I think whatever little we can do, and we should not feel humble about it. Whatever you can do, if you can help one person, we must do that.
Jitna ho sake.
Yeah. You see, we are very fortunate people. Life and society and our nation has been very kind to us, kind to you, kind to us. We are sitting in our homes, we have everything, and we are watching films, reading books, writing poetry, and so on. But out there are millions and millions and millions of people who don't know where they will get their next meal. And we have to bother about them. And obviously, we cannot solve that problem. That's huge, but government, other agencies will be doing it. They are trying to do it. But we have to contribute. How small the contribution is, but we have to contribute, and we should.
No, but apart from that, both of us, I think, were raised to believe that art should be used as an instrument for social change. So, of course, as a citizen, all of us, in our way, have contributed in whatever way we could. But apart from that, I think the artist also has a bigger responsibility, because there's a very beautiful poem of Javed's called Bhook, where he describes the hunger of a person who hasn't got a morsel to eat for 3 days. Now, I think reciting that poem, writing that poem, empathizes with thousands of people in a way and sensitizes me as a viewer so strongly, and in me arouses all kinds of feeling of empathy for the hungry. So we cannot categorize it and we cannot quantify it. But I do think art, I mean, look at Dhruvi Acharya. These days I've been seeing Dhruvi Acharya has just been doing the most amazing paintings, absolutely stunning, and they're all about coronavirus. And so I think in circumstances like this, artists get compelled to dig into their creativity and give something to society which will last longer than this crisis.
You know, I follow both of you on Twitter, and you're both very forthright with your views. You're not timid about taking on people. You're not timid about calling out, you know, bigotry or all the kind of viciousness that's out there. But I wonder, does it ever wear you down? Do you ever just get exhausted when you see how ugly it can get?
Yes, of course, I get very exhausted and I completely zone out, and I block and I block and I block. I block all the nasty things, and then I sort of gather myself together. And it's so obvious that it is trolling, that it's paid trolling. You know, because when you look at the amount of followers that they have, the number of followers, it's like 3, 4, 5. So then I feel, why should I respond to this person? Then all my followers will be able to give visibility to this person. So I ignore to a great deal. Then of course it wears you down.
But one thing I have to ask you, you know, I've done this for more than 25 years. I've been a journalist sort of reporting on the film industry. And I always felt that this was a place where there were no divides, because the only sort of God worship really was the box office. You know, that was everyone's one aim, ki hit ho jaye or sab is fine. You know, in the last few years is the first time I've really sensed polarization within the film industry. Is this something that the two of you are concerned about? And of course, we are part of a larger society and there's polarization in the larger society. But I always thought that somehow, you know, hamari film industry would not succumb so easily.
I still believe that there is no polarization in Indian film.
It's just a fringe element.
No,
Really?
No, they can wax eloquent. People can belong to different parties, different school of thought, and they will have their opinions and they'll fight and whatever. But when it comes to movie making, when it comes to casting, communalism or regionalism or any bias will not work. This person is right, they will take that person. This person is popular, this person can bring footsteps into the auditorium, fine. They bother about the footprint or the capability. They can't afford to be communal. You see, only those people can be communal who don't have direct stakes. Like in a private firm, in a private company, the owner will take the best possible person who will bring the maximum profit. But in a position, in an official position where nafa and nuksan, ghata, faida is not the concern of the man who is getting the salary, he can afford to become.
Right.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये एक फ्रिंज एलिमेंट है जो कि बहुत जोर शोर से कहता है, लेकिन मैं उम्मीद ये करती हूँ, एक चीज मैंने पार्लियामेंट में सीखी थी अनु. You know, when I first went into parliament, I was shocked at just the volume of the argument. You know, the volume of the argument is you feel they're going to kill each other. And then they'd walk out and come into the central hall, and the same people who were biting each other's heads off say, "Arey yaar, chal coffee pila mujhe dhokla khila." And for me, it was such civilized behavior, because I said, "Oh my God, so it is possible to have a political opinion completely opposite to your person and yet continue to have civilized relationships. So people will, obviously, there will be people who will have different political dispensations that they agree with, but that shouldn't take civilized behavior, and name calling, I think we can do that.
You know, I was doing a sort of cursory look of all the movies the two of you have done on IMDb, and you have, between the two of you, 361 credits. Shabana, you have 159 as an actor. Javed Sahab, you have 133 as lyricist and 69 as a writer. I mean,
Wow.
what an incredible body of work the two of you have.
Wow, thanks for telling us that. We didn't know. Did you know?
No.
That's great. Wonderful.
So tell me, after all these years of working and all this experience, what is the one truth about making movies that the two of you have understood now?
I believe completely and totally, without any modesty, that filmmaking is a collaborative art. And I sincerely believe that the actor gets away and hogs the credit and the limelight because it's the actor's face that comes in front of the camera. But the actor knows that it is because there's a whole host of technicians working behind the scenes to enhance the actor's strength and to diffuse their weaknesses. That is responsible for what you finally get. And so I think no one person can take credit, except finally, of course, the director is the captain of the ship in films. In theater, it becomes the actor. In television, I think it becomes the writer. But the fact is, it's a very collaborative medium. And so it is very important to have great respect for every single person. हमारे यहाँ पहले क्या होता था कि जब dubbing होती थी, sound in sync sound नहीं था, so we were so used to the fact that the sound person can never say cut for a shot. We would kill that person. अरे भाई dubbing में तो ठीक कर लेंगे ना. That's not fair to the sound person. Today, you give the sound person, the cameraman, the light, everybody equal respect. And this I've learned particularly abroad, because when they are working, my God, you know, I was doing a scene in which I was just in the background, and Paul and Natasha were doing a long scene, long dialogue, and they did 18 takes for the benefit of others in the room who were not even saying a word. And they were saying it with complete and total commitment. Really, that's what we really need from all the departments.
So often people ask me, "Bhaiya, aapne to bade super hit films likhi hain. So what is the formula? What is the tarkeeb? Nuskha kya hai? Ek super hit film likhne ka." I tell them, I wish I knew that, and I would have written all my films super hits. But all of them are not super hits. But I can definitely tell you two definite, sure ways, foolproof ways of writing a flop film or making a flop film. That I am confident. One, that you decide that now I'm going to say something great. I'll make a great statement. Another, अरे भाई पब्लिक को यही चाहिए होता है यार, यही बनाओ, यही इन लोग को यही अच्छा लगता है.
Right.
These are two foolproof ways of making a very bad film. It is like trying to aim either above your eye or below your eye, and you can never aim correctly. The only way you can get into the bullseye is if you are aiming straight in your eye line.
Yeah.
Line of vision. Every time you will get the bullseye. That's not possible. But that's the only way to win. And if you say, I want to say something great, what is the definition of great? Great, something that you don't understand. So you are making a film that you yourself don't understand. The other way, what you're doing, in लोगों को ये अच्छा लगता है.
Right.
Who knows इन्हें अच्छा लगता है कि नहीं लगता? But one thing is for sure, that you started making a film जो आपको अच्छी नहीं लगती. तो पहले ही आदमी को पसंद नहीं है जो बना रहा है. आगे तो देखा जाएगा.
Tell me, and I know, Javed Sahab, you have said that there are bigger things to focus on when you were asked about this Masakali remix. But I'm not asking specifically about that song, but generally the state of music. I keep hearing more and more directors say that they're not comfortable doing lip sync songs anymore, because how would a character just start singing? And music is such a strength of our cinema.
Are they comfortable with the background music?
No,
it never happens that somebody says something and you hear a bang. Does it happen?
Right.
They are wrong. I'll tell you why. They have all the right to make a film without lip sync songs, and it's perfect. I have no problem with that. But to make a film with lip sync songs is not wrong at all. Then you would say Italian opera is wrong.
Yeah.
Then you say kabuki is wrong. Then you will find so many forms of storytelling wrong. This is one way of storytelling of India, and this is not invented by Hindi cinema. It is thousands of years old. You take Mirchi Katika, 3,000 years old Sanskrit play. That also has song. In Jatra, in Nautanki, in Ram Leela, in Krishna Leela, we have always used songs. In Urdu Parsi theatre, which was the urban theatre before the emergence of the talkie, there were songs. So this is the way, like in opera, there are songs. So you will look down upon opera that it has songs. It is a very, very limited and conditioned point of view. This is a style of a storytelling, and you should be proud of it. And we have invented it. India has invented this way of telling a story. And the way our masters like Guru Dutt, like Vijay Anand, like Raj Khosla, like Nasir Hussain, the way these people have picturized song is an example to the world.
Absolutely.
Because you have seen 4 Hollywood movies.
No, I also feel really bad about it, and I feel in this whole attempt to make a crossover film, what we are doing is we have started aping the West. How can you have a crossover film if you're going to ape the West?
Correct.
What is required in a crossover film is the strength to be able to own the Hindi film song, which is lip sync, and say, that's the way we tell our stories. And look at what songs have meant to us over the years. When you've been depressed, then there is a song whose finger you hold and say, come be my mate. If you're in love, you're using some song or the other. Songs are not just songs. They're little philosophies of life on whom you hold. And you remember when you hear a song, oh, I heard this when I was in school that time and this thing. So there's association, there's nostalgia, there's memory. And there are some great words and great tunes to songs. Today, there's just so much music and absolutely...
As a matter of fact, listen. Now, all those who are embarrassed about lip sync songs have songs in their films. They publicize their film with songs.
Correct.
What kind of dependence you have on the song? Don't have song. Hollywood doesn't publicize their pictures with songs. Don't do that.
But Javed, why is the quality of the music and the lyrics so much sort of
atrocious?
Yeah.
Atrocious is the most gentle and understated word. You see, many things have gone against a good song. Many things. Life has increased the tempo, so everything has become faster. Music has also changed its tempo. Now, with fast tempo, sometimes the words don't get registered. Besides that, I have noticed that films are moving away from emotion. They think it is melodrama. Perhaps there was a time when there was a lot of melodrama, but now the pendulum has swung in equal and opposite direction, and it is equally wrong. Emotions and feelings are also a reality of life. Everything which is emotional cannot be called melodramatic.
Yeah.
So now you look at the romantic songs of recent times. The best romantic song mostly is picturized as a funny song. The picturization will be in comedy. Because they are embarrassed about romance, embarrassed about the emotion, the feeling. That is wrong. Besides that, what has happened that in last 30, 40 years, literature was not on the list of priority in the society. So whether in school, college or at home, the child was not exposed to good poetry, good literature. So their vocabulary has shrunk. Maybe they know English to some extent, but their own mother tongue, whether it is Marathi or Gujarati or Punjabi or Urdu or Hindi, their vocabulary has shrunk.
Yeah.
So they have lost connection with their own poetry. So now they are not familiar with poetry or poetry. They are not familiar with classical music or music, folk music. They are totally alien to all these things. And then the film is shying away from the emotion. The music has taken its frantic tempo. And the man who is selecting the song, whether the producer or the director, has no understanding of language of poetry. So everything is against जाने वो कैसे लोग थे जिनके प्यार को प्यार मिला.
Yeah.
That sounds really sad.
Yeah.
Oh.
कुछ तो hopeful कहिए जावेद साहब. वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी ना?
आएगी, because आना चाहिए. It's overdue. Because you see, if you are doing something wrong but making a buck, I can understand it. At the moment, look at the music. It has no shelf life at all.
Yeah. None.
You remember songs which were recorded perhaps 30 years before your birth.
Yeah.
But you don't remember the song which was released last month.
Absolutely. It's disposable. Absolutely.
So these are throwaway writers. Actually, we should say throwaway writers. तो अरे भाई, तुम्हारी म्यूजिक चलती कहाँ है? That music is on FM or radio or television as long as you are feeding it.
Yeah.
The moment your film is removed from the theatre, you don't need to publicize this music. It dies. It has no life of its own.
Yeah.
All.
No legs at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Tell me, how do the two of you keep your creative instincts fresh? How do you stay hungry when you've done so much and you've both achieved so much?
It may sound very dramatic to you or say, what a answer. No. I genuinely believe that whatever I can or whatever I could do, I have not done half of it. And I'm very embarrassed about it. There's a lot to do.
This I think this is an exaggeration because मतलब तो फिर आप genius ही है ना, अगर आपका सिर्फ 50% हुआ तो सिर्फ सीधा genius.
अब तो तुमने मुझे कॉर्नर कर दिया. है? खरी सुना दी मुझे.
नहीं, मुझे क्या लगता है?
असलियत बता दी.
I sort of work in terror, really, honestly. Every time I am reading a script and I sort of feel that, all right, this is a character I would like to do, then I approach the character in different ways, Sometimes I just put a step in the door. Sometimes I peer through the window. Sometimes I jump wholeheartedly right into the living room. There are different ways of how I approach different characters. And that keeps me interested and alive. There is no one set pattern of behavior. Sometimes something stirs from within you, and from that stirring, you create the character. Sometimes you get the outside correct. You get the gestures correct. You get the outward persona, and then within it, you find the character. So there is no one standard way of going. But the fact is that I work very hard. I learn my lines. I mug my lines, and I work very hard. And I listen to the director, because earlier I used to have lots of sort of conflicts with directors and stuff like that. But now I listen to the director because I genuinely do believe that the film is the director's medium, and that the director knows what the totality of that film is going to be. और अगर आपके पास अच्छा co-star हो गया तो सोने पे सुहागा. If you've got a Nasiruddin Shah in front of you, you don't have to do anything, because acting is about reacting, and you're just looking at him and you're getting all the stimulus, and you hope that you are able to provide that stimulus to the others around you.
And Javed Sahab, you're only half done yet, right?
Yeah. Mera genius show.
No, but honestly, there's much more to write. I would love to write a very good script. It's overdue now. I would like to write much more poetry than I do. अरे मेरी एक collection और दूसरे collection में 10 साल का difference है. Now I can't afford that, so I better shorten the period. So I would like to write more songs and better songs. ये मैं ऐसा believe करता हूँ. Let somebody, like it happened in 1942. The husband fell. That was again a dark era. Sarkari Khatia times.
Yeah.
And one madman, Vidhu Chopra, decided to have another kind of music, and everybody discouraged him. And then we had totally different kind of song, and it became a milestone. So again, I'm looking for one Vidhu Chopra who will let me write the way I want to.
Well, we really hope that happens soon, because God knows somebody needs to stage an intervention.
Yeah. One intervention, and that works.
Yeah.
People are hungry for medium paced. There is a particular word in our music that is called chain. इस संगीत में, music में, इस धुन में chain है.
Right. Yeah.
There is so much of trauma. There is no peace. And decent words. कभी एक पुराना गाना मैं सुन रहा था, ख्यालों में किसी के इस तरह आया नहीं करते. Now this thought, this statement is so decent, so sophisticated, so cultured that it is totally outdated. ख्यालों में किसी के इस तरह आया नहीं. वो कैसे एक आदमी दूसरे से कह रहा है? You come in my thought. I remember. Look at the sophistication, tahzeeb. Until one, I don't know.
I remember once you talking.
I think words के साथ और ज़बान के साथ बहुत नाइंसाफी हो रही है. क्या हो रहा है? Because its tempo has changed and the tempo has become fast of everything. And then the language that you are using on WhatsApp and messages, neither the spelling is correct nor the pronunciation is correct. Then you want to further shorten it. For instance, the other day I said, okay, so my 13-year-old nephew Virat says, you're saying okay? So I said, yeah. So he said, please. So I said, so what? You're supposed to say K.
Correct.
I said, excuse me? K means 1,000 in nothing. Oh God, Shabana, how can you say okay? अरे तुम जाओगी का K को काट के क्या करोगे फिर? क्या मतलब कि तुम कुछ चीज ना सही ग्रामर ना सही उसके बोलने का तरीका कुछ नहीं. Everything is just going down the drain. I think you can afford to do it only if you know the language so deeply and you know your literature so well. You know, like Fellini's Amarcord, if you see, it is such a simple film, but he has arrived at that simplicity because he's such a master.
Correct.
And every frame of his speaks, and that's why it gets pared down to simplicity, as Karuna.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult to be simple.
Yeah.
That's a fact. मगर ये short जो हर चीज को कर रहे हैं, मुझे समझ नहीं आता. Why are they trying to save so much time? What will they do with it? ये अभी दिल्ली पिछले दिनों जब मैं गया था, तो वहाँ मैंने एक लड़की को दुपट्टा होता है ना, उसको डुप कैसे सुना. पट्टा बोल दोगी तो क्या हो जाएगा? लेट हो जाओगी जहाँ जाना है, क्या हो? बोल दो, पट्टा भी बोल दो ना साथ में.
अच्छा, we are sounding very old, you know. We are sounding like पिछले ज़माने के लोग जिनको हर चीज बुरी लग रही. Please, let's get back to.
I have one last question. I remember many years ago, I think, Shabana, you were out, and I remember interviewing you, Javed Sahab, for something, and I asked you, what is the secret of this very lovely, happy marriage? And you said, we're rarely in the same city, and you burst out laughing. Tell me now, how is it working with the lockdown?
I think after a very, very, very long time, maybe for the first time, we are together for such a long time, under the same roof.
अच्छा, मैं अब आपको बताऊं, ये जो बहुत romantic writer है, उनकी एक असलियत बताऊं ना.
हाँ.
Can you imagine? He turned around and he asked me, Hari, when did you get that beauty spot on your chin? I said, I was born with it, and we've been living together for 37 years. So, Corona ki wajah se,
For 37 years, I was only appreciating her eyes.
Sure.
क्या बात है जावेद साहब.
So
अब
he
मैं
noticed
आंखें
it
देख
for
रहा था.
37
आपने
years
देखा
later.
कि आंखें देख रहा था मैं.
हाय, हाय,
तो ये
हाय.
चिन पे जो तिल है उस पे वहां तक गई नहीं मैं. जो नाक की होंठ पीछे अभी बहुत लंबा जर्नी है भाई. क्या बात कर रहे हो?
How fabulous. How lovely. Listen, thank you so much. It's so wonderful to talk to the both of you. Really.
And to you, Anu.
Thank you. And lots
Bye-bye.
of love. And I hope to see you soon in person.
Inshallah.